And so how has the technology evolved?
It's really evolved rapidly because imaging technology has really improved. So has computer technology. So has the various sensors. At first, when we developed it, you would actually go out on a blast and take a picture with an ordinary camera and bring it into a software program that would allow you to measure it. And now it's, there's automated online systems. We actually control production machinery now. In fact, we're finding that everybody carries a device. I've got an iPhone. I can use my iPhone to actually measure material. That iPad that you've got in front of you, you could use that to measure our stuff.
Yeah. And then now does that integrate into a team, or is it one device, or does that get sent back somewhere, or how does that all work?
It could be any of those things. You could actually take a picture. You could do it yourself, or there's online systems that would feed it into a historian or actually control some production machinery. We even have people that are flying drones over blasts and taking those images and bringing them in and getting them processed. So it really opens up a whole bunch of different avenues.
Well, that must be just incredibly groundbreaking to be able to fly over,
Literally groundbreaking.
Yeah, no pun intended. Because the work that it would take to go in and do samples at one time, so this technology, now does it fully replace it, or does it give you a guideline to go, okay, there is something worth digging in and testing here?
It helps you at the start to design the blast. Explosives is a really, I'll say, complicated industry in that there's so many variables.
Right.
The geology, the rock type, there's many different types of explosives. There's different timing you can introduce. There's so many things that you can do to affect a blast. There is an optimum size for every blast, depending on your production equipment and what the final use of it is. So you really need something to be able to track figures. You could just track the characteristic size of a blast, and then you could wait until all the figures came in, for maintenance, throughput, energy consumption, all of those things, and you'll soon twig in that, hey, when the size range is here, our production costs are there. And as the size goes this way, the production cost seems to follow it down. So it tells you right away where you should be going.
Right.
And it's not always you have to make it finer, but in many cases it is. Maybe it's just to eliminate some oversize.
Right.
And so again, you need the tool.
So it's educating on you for the next blast as well.
Yeah.
That you'll and how you'll set things up.
Yeah.
What's a challenge? I'm sure with these new technologies, I'll say this in a two-part question. What is the challenge with the technology, as in what needs to get improved so it is even better, and entering into markets, what challenges do you face?
The challenges we typically found was you're trying to introduce a novel new technology into a traditional business.
Right.
Okay, so there's people that are saying, hey, I've been in this industry for 30 years, and I never had this, we can do without it.
Yeah.
So they're not really or they traditionally haven't been receptive to change like this.
Right.
But certainly now we're seeing with remote sensing, with robotics, with automation, I think the mining industry is going like the automotive industry is going. There was a lot of resistance maybe to automation initially, but today you would never think about building an automobile by hand. You just, it doesn't make sense.
Right.
And I think mining industry is going to find the same way that, it's the old ways we did things are probably, won't fly in the future. It just, you can't be cost competitive to do that.
Yeah. And are you seeing that shift firsthand?
We are.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah. We're global. We have clients throughout the world. typically in maybe in Europe and more developed countries where labor rates tend to be higher and things like that,
Right.
they have to be more efficient if they want to be the low-cost producer. And so they're really grabbing up on technology like that because it just makes so much sense for them. There's a big emphasis these days for things like environmental concerns. And so when you do it more efficiently, you're probably more environmentally conscious. Energy is a big thing for most people these days, and it's one of your big costs.
Yeah.
So it certainly reduces that. One of the most efficient ways of breaking material is still chemical energy explosives.
Right.
And so if you utilize them, if you don't blast it properly, then it's going to cost you more to crush it and grind it and mill it and all the rest of it. So it's a big chain of events. You can't really look at one discrete element. You have to look at the whole picture.